Yes, welcome to uh, this channel. For those who've come for the first time, you can subscribe, like, and share. My name is Charles, and I'll be dealing with some few issues. In the previous video, I was dealing with unemployment and in terms of jobs and all that. But today I want to look at some reforms that last week I think I had it being mentioned in the media. And it was concerning merging some universities. Um and the statement was merging the universities that are not performing so that we can reduce the cost and all that, or whatever the issue which was surrounding the issue. But I've been thinking about the issue. The greatest undoing that happened to Kenya was when we lowered the grades, the entry grades for a student to get into campus. When we lowered the grade from, initially it was a B plus, then to B, then when Matiang'i came into power, into the Ministry of Education, the grade was lowered to C plus. And then another undoing that happened was when we made the tertiary institutions, then the colleges to be universities, and we had an addition of universities. So what happened is we created a lot of opportunities for courses that were not there, and therefore there was some introduction of courses that were not necessary according to me. And in as far as we're going to merge the campuses and the universities, and then some courses still remain there, we are still going to be in the same problem that we are in now. For example, and this is a factor that have contributed so much to unemployment on the youth, because we are having some courses that are not marketable in Kenya, or some that are training differently, but we are having the same field where we are working. For example, when a student does the computer science, another do mathematics, computer science, another one do IT, another one do software engineering. In as far as there is difference in training, you find that these people, they are working the same atmosphere out here. That was just an example. There are so many courses that are being trained in Kenya that are not necessary, that are not needed, that do not have market in this country of ours. And as I said earlier, I'm not going to mention those courses, but I think the first thing that should be done is to first raise the grade, the entry grade to campus. I know some of you will oppose my opinion, but again, this is my opinion. What happened is, when you lower the grades for a student to join the campus, we did away with the students that were getting into those tertiary institutions, and eventually what we did away again with those students that were joining the polytechnics. And what happened is that we are having so many human resource, such that even now, if a person is fired today, tomorrow we get a good and a better replacement, because you have so many people who have been trained and they're out there who don't have the jobs. And therefore, my opinion on this issue is that we are supposed to again recheck on the grades entry, all the courses that are being offered in campuses, and especially in the universities. We are having a lot of unnecessary courses that are being trained in our country. And because again our parents, they just want their student to be in a university, we just take them to do the courses regardless or without knowing what the course entails and all that. So my submission this day is that the bad and the worst experience that happened to us was not or will not even be solved by merging the universities, but we need to look also at the courses that we are offered in our campuses. Let me ask a question. For example, you have a course, and I will not mention the name of the course again. we have a course that have 1,000 students in one class, and we have 78 universities in Kenya. So the same course is being trained in other universities, and each university have 1,000 students of the same course. So at the point that they are graduating, we are going to have 78,000 students graduating on the same course, getting into the same field. And that is why, by the way, there is this introduction of the professional courses, the CPAs, all these professional courses that have become the requirements for one to be given a job. They were not there sometimes back. For example, CPA was a course by itself, but these days have anybody doing the BCom have to accompany the BCom with CPAs. So my point here is, we are having, or when we lowered the grade, we created the gap for the courses, but we did not look at where will these people work after they have done these courses. And therefore, I just feel that some courses, they need to be done away with. They are not necessary. They are not needed in Kenya. Another one, and the greatest undoing that you are having in Kenya today, is the introduction of these colleges all over. Each plot have its own college. And you find like a student does not qualify for a certain course. And when they go to a certain college, and again, I don't know the name, but I am working the assumption, they visit a certain college and the student did not qualify the same course in another college, but now they qualify in this college and they fit in that institution to do the same course that was not accepted in another college. We should have a regulatory body that is going to regulate these colleges, the courses offered in those colleges, because we are doing harm to our children. We are doing harm to university students. We are doing harm to a college student on the courses that you are offering. So again, this is my opinion, and I may differ with your opinion, but lowering the grade to C+, sometimes in as far as we want to take our student or our sons and daughters to do the degree that they end up doing, what we did, we lowered the grade, but we did not lower the cluster entry point. What I mean by that is, each course has the cluster subjects that are a must for one to do that course. For example, if a course need you to have the physics, need you to have the biology, need you to have mathematics, and then you did not perform well in those key subjects, no matter which grade that you get, you end up getting a course that does not fit whatever you expected. And therefore, my advice to the parents this evening or this time is that it's not a must that you take your child to that university because they have been admitted for a course, and now you want to fix them into those and to doing those degree. Do the research, find somebody, sit down with them. I was listening to news the other day, and I saw some students who were devastated because they were admitted for a certain course. I think it was nutrition, and the student had an A-, and this student was she was not okay with the course. But it is not a must that some of these students do those degree courses that they are doing. Parents, find the time and research about the course that your son or your daughter want to undergo. Have a time with an expert and talk through the courses. A student who is getting a C+, on average, they can do a very good diploma course, a very marketable course. And as I normally say, they can do, for example, if a student did physics, mathematics, and they performed well, there's a course that I normally love so much, the radiography. They can go do the nursing, they can go do the clinical medicine. They start at the diploma level, and then they do the advancement later. So you don't have to fix your son or your daughter into a campus because they got that grade to do the degree. There are some who have started at the diploma level, and I have seen, as I said earlier, I work in an institution that's why sometimes I feel that it is necessary to have or to be having these talks. I've seen people who have done degree courses after they have cleared their degree, they come back again and they start doing the diploma level, and we teach them and they end up getting a better job. For example, you are there and you are struggling with even getting a job, you can go back and do the diploma and you do a marketable one. So because I had the reforms of merging the universities, and I have also seen that the school fee for the universities have been raised, but merging the universities may not give us the solution. There need to be a committee that will be formed, or a task force that will be formed to relook at the courses that are offered in our universities. Those that need to be done away with, they be done away with. Now, I have a privilege to work in a medical institution, and I will give an example of nursing courses or the clinical medicine courses. They have a regulatory body that regulate even the curriculum, the mode of teaching, the number of students, the place of attachment, the instrument that are used in teaching those students, and therefore they ensure that the quality is adhered to, either the student is in the private institution or is in the public institution. Now, what is happening, and the biggest undoing, is we are having colleges and universities that are admitting thousands of students. They don't meet the threshold. They don't have the requirement, the capacity to train. They don't have the skilled personnel to do the same. And again, why would we have a course that is done by over 1,000 students in one class? How effective is the delivery of that course? That you have been a whole 1,000 from day one all the way to the 4 years. You find there is, and that is why, and I will again say, that is why our medical field is doing so well. Because, for example, I'm not a nurse, but I want to use this nursing and the nursing council and the clinical medicine and the others. What they do, they regulate the hours that a student is supposed to be in class and the hours that they are supposed to be in the field practicing what they are learning. Now, an example, we are having universities that don't even offer attachment positions, or what I mean by that is they are training courses that even they don't attach their students outside to know what they really will be doing in the marketplace. And therefore, in as far as we are talking about the joblessness in Kenya and the unemployed youth, I believe in as far as we are merging the universities and all that, then we need to do away with some courses. We need to relook at the numbers that should be admitted in a certain course. And if it has to raise the numbers again, or if we have to raise the entry grade, we ought to, so that we can have a balanced distribution of the human resource training, so that right now, if an employer fires somebody, they don't care, because they will only make an advert and thousands comes in. So there is imbalance in the way that we are training our young people, and imbalance in the way that we are doing the courses. And therefore, because I've seen that we have now embarked into this journey of finding the solution to some ailing parts of our education, to some ailing parts of our youth, there's no need of training thousands in one course. No matter how maybe I may not be educated as some, but I've been to a class. I think the maximum number ought to be regulated, the entry grade, the mode of study. Sometimes I feel for the university students. I've been an university student once, and I've trained in the college in the diploma and certificate level. And those who have visited the facility, both universities and those tertiary institutions, they will bear me witness that the mode of teaching in the colleges is totally different from the mode of teaching in the universities. We are having, sometimes we say that we are overfeeding, over teaching the college students. So my submission this time is that there can be a better thing that we can do to curb these issues, in as far as we want to merge the universities. So before I read up, I've seen the president is really concerned about unemployed youth and really concerned about the education system. But I want to and I want to request that, and this is my submission, that some of these courses, the courses that relate, let them be merged, let them be done away with, so that we stop training people and then they get out and do the same courses. Again, let there be memorandum of understanding. Let the institution train people in class and also embark them in the field work, and that's where the colleges, they are doing better. So I say that was my opinion. Check on the grading and other issues. Thank you. Remember to share and subscribe.